Welcome to This Explainer. I'm Dr. Maya, your future learning correspondent. We're standing at the edge of what just might be the most profound learning shift since the invention of mass public education itself. Today, we're embarking on a pretty fascinating exploration of how artificial intelligence is fundamentally changing the way human beings develop, grow, and learn. Let's just dive right in. Okay, I want you to imagine walking into a classroom in the year 2030. A student raises their hand with a question. But before the human teacher even takes a step toward their desk, an AI tutor has instantly generated 5 different, totally personalized explanations. Across the room, there's another student who's been struggling with a really complex math concept. But they hasn't been just sitting there in frustration. Instead, a patient holographic AI tutor has been gently guiding them through practice problems for hours, getting them perfectly prepped for when the teacher actually steps in to evaluate their deeper reasoning. It sounds like science fiction, right? But this is the exact reality we are rapidly building. Consider this really profound reality for a second. This isn't just a story about technology. It's a story about the first generation of humans whose cognitive development is occurring completely alongside AI. Think about that. Every previous generation, including mine and probably yours, we had to adapt to new technologies as they arrived. We discovered them. But this incoming generation, they are literally being raised with intelligent machines as constant companions from childhood. They aren't adapting to it, they're developing with it. They won't even remember a time before machines could speak back to them. We've experienced this unprecedented, rapid historical shift. Think about it. Pre-1990s, we relied on physical textbooks and local experts. In the 2000s, internet search made information global. Then, the 2010s brought smartphones, making everything instant. And we all remember the struggles of adapting to the internet, right? The agonizing screech of dial-up tones, the sheer panic of printing out paper directions right before a road trip, or, my personal favorite, trying to gently explain to our parents how a touchscreen actually works. But the 2030s AI generation, that represents a total paradigm shift. Information is no longer just something you search for, it's something you literally converse with. And the reason for this shift is actually pretty simple. Previous technology just delivered static content. A textbook gives you fixed information. A search engine gives you a list of links. Even a recorded video just gives you one unchanging explanation. But AI? AI actually delivers interaction. It explains, it adapts, it tutors. If you don't get something, you don't just reread the same paragraph over and over in frustration. You literally ask the AI to explain it to you like you're 5 years old, or maybe through the lens of your favorite sport. It responds to your specific confusion right then and there. So, we are officially entering the personalization revolution. For decades, the ultimate educational dream, like the absolute holy grail for teachers, has been to provide personalized, one-on-one instruction for every single student. But, basic math got in the way. With one teacher for every 30 or 40 students, doing this on a massive global scale was basically impossible. Until now. Because AI can instantly adjust difficulty levels and pinpoint microscopic individual learning gaps, a curious learner today has superpowers. They can seamlessly study the astrophysics of black holes at breakfast, practice Python coding at lunch, and then casually converse in fluent Japanese with their AI tutor before bedtime. It can even completely break down language barriers. The wall between a child's curiosity and their ability to actually learn something, it has virtually vanished. It's truly wonderful. But of course, every massive advantage introduces some new challenges. So we have to pivot now and talk about the hidden cognitive risks. The inherent tension of this great shift is this. What actually happens when students no longer face the confusion, the frustration, and the sheer difficulty that have historically been totally essential to true intellectual growth? If a system is always adapting to make things perfectly frictionless for you, where does intellectual resilience actually come from? Well, researchers are intensely watching a phenomenon known as cognitive offloading. Basically, it's our natural human tendency to rely on external tools to save mental effort. And let's be honest with ourselves. We all do it. We happily outsourced our mental math to calculators decades ago. Most of us couldn't navigate our own cities without outsourcing our spatial awareness to GPS. Heck, many of us don't even know our best friend's phone number anymore because we've completely outsourced it to our smartphone contacts. But that brings us to a much, much weightier question. What happens when AI begins handling our complex thinking tasks? Outsourcing mental math and navigation is one thing. But what if students start outsourcing their brainstorming? What if they outsource that messy, difficult process of writing a first draft? Do students lose their grit and perseverance if they never actually have to face that terrifying yet beautiful moment of staring at a blank page and struggling to form an original thought? And this isn't just about losing our mental grit. It introduces active dangers to our very understanding of truth. AI can easily produce inaccurate information, entirely fabricated citations, which we commonly call hallucinations, oversimplified explanations, and hidden systemic biases. And the scary part? An AI-generated answer can sound completely authoritative, eloquent, and perfectly confident while being entirely 100% wrong. This means critical thinking is going to shift from just being a useful skill to becoming the absolute most crucial survival literacy of the era. Furthermore, we have to look at the systemic impacts, what experts are calling the new educational divide. A major concern here is that this won't just be some utopian level playing field. Not all students are going to use AI equally. The impending inequality won't just be about who has a laptop. It'll be driven by varying levels of digital literacy, the quality of the AI tools families can afford, and the guidance they get at home to use these tools responsibly. This AI divide could actually become far more pronounced than the digital divide we saw in the early days of the internet. Now, with all this incredible technology flooding the classroom, we reach the emotional core of this explainer, those irreplaceable human connections. Look, there is a very common, very pervasive fear out there that AI might somehow replace human educators altogether. But the evidence and just the reality of how human beings actually learn suggests a very different future. Because education has never been strictly about data transfer. Consider the uniquely human skills that a machine simply cannot replicate. Empathy, ethical judgment, creativity, leadership, wisdom. No algorithm, no matter how wildly advanced it is, can truly understand the emotions of a struggling student whose parents are going through a divorce. A machine cannot build genuine trust, or model ethical judgment, or provide the warmth of a real mentor. Human teachers aren't going anywhere. In fact, as AI automates all that routine grading and lesson planning, teachers are going to become invaluable mentors, coaches, and learning architects. They are about to become more important, not less. So what does the actual day-to-day of school look like in this world? Think about a future assignment. In the past, the prompt was simply, give me the answer. In the future, the prompt becomes, evaluate the answer. A typical assignment in 2030 won't try to ban AI. Instead, a teacher might have the AI generate 3 entirely different essays on a historical event, and the student's job is to critique them, find the hidden biases, and argue which one is actually the most accurate. The goal isn't preventing AI use, it's using it to enhance independent human judgment and reasoning. To build a bridge to that ideal 2030 classroom, we really need an architectural plan. According to reports from the World Economic Forum, education systems face a critical challenge right now. To help out, they've introduced an AI readiness framework. This helps policymakers, educators, and communities practically assess if they are truly prepared for responsible AI integration, making sure it actually strengthens human learning rather than just undermining it. The framework lays out 3 really vital steps. First up, establishing governance and infrastructure. Basically, we need rules of the road and equitable access for everyone. Step 2 is adapting pedagogy and assessment. We have to completely change how we teach and how we test, finally moving away from rote memorization. And step 3 is safeguarding learner experiences. This means protecting students against those hallucinations and biases we talked about earlier, all while fiercely preserving that essential human connection. These are the absolute foundations we need to harness AI's incredible potential safely. As we wrap up this exploration, I want to leave you with this really powerful thought. The most successful learners of the future may not be those who use AI the most. They may be those who know when not to trust it. AI can process information beautifully. It can generate text, code, and gorgeous images in seconds. But human beings must still determine which questions actually matter. We are the ones who must provide the ethical frameworks and the wisdom that machines entirely lack. Which leaves us with the defining question of this new era. The first generation raised with AI is already sitting in classrooms today. Will AI make them smarter, more capable, and more creative than any generation before them? Or will it simply make them more dependent? It's a fascinating tension, and honestly, the answer depends entirely on the choices educators, parents, and all of us make today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.